Freedom Tire is proud to be the title sponsor of supporting Jaguar student athletes through Centennial Digital. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping your family safely on the road. Our certified staff and state technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Come see us at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of Centennial Digital. Fall sports coverage on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire, brought to you by these generous local businesses. Weichert Realtors, the 515 Agency. U.S. Cellular by Cellular Advantage. Game Day Men's Health. The District at Prairie Trail. Reed Plumbing. The Alter Metal Recycling. And Lamberti, Murphy & Strong Law.
What if you could create memories that would last a lifetime? That would be pretty cool. Well, now you can.
Fall sports coverage on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire, brought to you by these generous local businesses. Heart of Ankeny Animal Hospital, Extreme Services, West 40 Market, Lamberti, Murphy & Strong Law, Rainbow of the Heartland, Eat the Frog Fitness, Made in the Shade, Blinds and More, Fiscus Jewelers, Alter Metal Recycling, Cabaret Sports Bar and Grill.
Everything we do is here to benefit the client. Every decision that's needed to be made, the first question you should ask is, does this benefit the client, and is this the best thing for the client?
Our goal is to make a difference. We have the tools, resources, training, and leadership to make a difference in our agents' lives and their careers. And then they can then take that to make a difference in their clients' lives and ultimately make a difference in our communities.
We are available basically 24/7 to make sure that our agents are getting the support they need to look like $1 million in front of their clients.
Fall sports coverage on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire, brought to you by these generous local businesses. Nick Jarash Fitness, Ted Sandine Photography, Game Day Men's Health, The District at Prairie Trail, Nolte & Sons Lawn and Irrigation, Steinorama Ankeny, Jay's Cookies, and Foot and Ankle Center of Iowa.
At US Cellular, you can pay just $29.99 per line.
So can I get just one line?
Yep, same price.
Can we each get a line for that price?
Sure can.
And I can get 6 lines.
Well, whether it is 1 line or 6 lines, it's still just $29.99 per line.
Target acquired.
Pay just $29.99 per line. US Cellular, built for us.
So when an athlete walks into Nick Jarash Fitness, the one thing we want them to know is that this is a phenomenal community. We have the best coaching. We have the best technology. We have the programming that can help them succeed. So whether it's trying to get on JV for the first time, going to that next level on varsity, going from a second string to an all-state player, we have the tools, we have the programming and the coaching in order to take each individual to their next level.
Okay guys, we're all here because US Cellular has an incredible deal. Right now, you can get 4 lines of unlimited data for just $90.
Sorry, just double checking. Is it really that good of a deal?
Yeah, you also get 4 free phones of your choice.
4 free phones!
West 40 Market in Uptown Ankeny is your place to shop for the best meats, steaks, brats, jerky, and everything in between. Let us be your one-stop shop for all your favorite cuts, all raised on local Iowa farms. Shopping local never tasted so good.
With US Cellular Prepaid, you're always connected to the people who matter most. Even in the most hard-to-reach places. Get nationwide 5G coverage. And now, get 2 lines of unlimited data for just $60 a month. US Cellular, built for us.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to volleyball here on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire. Andy Pollack, Austin Oliver with you here tonight as volleyball is back on the north side. The preseason number 3 Ankeny Centennial Jaguars taking on last year's defending state champ, the Waukee Northwest Wolves. And Austin, you already mentioned these are 2 different teams from a year ago.
Yeah, it's Northwest is going to be coming in, obviously coming off of a state championship, but lost a lot of senior leadership last year. As we talked about in our pregame too a little bit as we were getting ready, Andy, pretty competitive matches between these 2 last year. I think it went 5 sets every time that they came together, so it's going to be an interesting match tonight for sure.
Time to go down to our Signorama starting lineups, brought to you by Signorama Ankeny, your full-service sign and graphics company. They design, produce, and install all types of exterior and interior signs, vehicle wraps, graphics, and more. Visit them, signorama-ankeny.com. And tonight we go down to the voice of the Jaguars, Mr. Rodney Tomlinson.
Towards the opponent.
Freedom Tire is proud to be the title sponsor of supporting Jaguar student athletes through Centennial Digital. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping your family safely on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Come see us at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of Centennial Digital. Fall sports coverage on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire, brought to you by these generous local businesses. Waukee Realtors, the 515 Agency. U.S. Cellular by Cellular Advantage. Game Day Men's Health. The District at Prairie Trail. Reed Plumbing. The Alter Metal Recycling. And Lamberti, Murphy & Strong Law.
What if you could create memories that would last a lifetime? That would be pretty cool. Well, now you can.
Fall sports coverage on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire, brought to you by these generous local businesses. Heart of Ankeny Animal Hospital. Extreme Services. West 40 Market. And Bertie Murphy & Strong Law. Rainbow of the Heartland. Eat the Frog Fitness. Made in the Shade, Blinds and More. Fiscus Jewelers. Alter Metal Recycling. Cabaret Sports Bar and Grill.
Back and ready for action here at the Jungle on the north side of Ankeny Centennial High School in their 12th year as a school. 2 of the newer school districts in the state of Iowa, Waukee Northwest, in their 4th year as a school. Leading the way out there for Northwest is Logan Vogt, sophomore outside hitter, daughter of head coach Jody Vogt. Logan will be set to by her sister tonight, Avery. You will see a lot of the offense for Waukee Northwest head through the 6'1" sophomore outside hitter.
Yeah, she's pretty much the only returning offensive weapon that they have from last year. It's going to be all new this year, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out as they break in this new offense.
Cheeseman, Pratt, Lay Butters, Miller, Schmidt, and Heather out there to start the night for the Jaguars, and Megan Cheeseman will serve the beginning of the home slate here for the Jaguars to get things rolling. First serve, they go right at Vogt in the back. They set it in the middle, little tip coming over, and Heather can't get the block. Little missed time block there, and Cassidy Danberg, the sophomore, gets the kill to start things off. A little unconventional kill for Northwest.
Yeah, look, you were exactly right on the missed timing of the jump there for the block, but that's something that they'll get a little bit more accustomed to as they get a few reps underneath their belts here, as everybody's a little bit nervous, probably coming into a season opener for the conference. Is this conference?
It is conference opener. Yep, these teams have played in a couple tournaments so far. As Miller hits that one through the block and gets a kill for Centennial. Both these teams were in action this last weekend at the Centennial tournament here, which I described as a who's who of high school volleyball comes here to that tournament. Number 1 Pleasant Valley was in town. The Jaguars actually beat them before bowing out to number 2 Dowling Catholic. On the outside, they go to Danberg once again. The Jaguars go back to the middle. Miller, and Miller hits a long no tip, and the point goes to the Wolves. Yeah, just a who's who. Ankeny Christian, 1A number 1, ended up winning that tournament. Coach Michelle Quick has an incredible squad down there, of course led by her daughter Katie Quick, the Drake commit. Left-handed setter, super athletic. That helps a bunch. Lay Butters passes out to Cheeseman. They're going to go to Schmidt, who goes for the tip and finds the opening. No, they say it's still alive. Vogt sends over the free ball. Jags in business. Here they go to Pratt down the middle. Smokes it.
Little tandem run there from the hitters from the outside, a little unconventional there, bringing her sliding a little bit into the middle where she's used to been playing for the last couple years. Nice swing there.
Everything will run through these outside hitters, 3-year starters in Delaney Miller and Jaden Pratt, but it's when they get the other hitters involved that the Jaguars become very, very potent on offense, as Ladwig hits that kill, a little mistime on the set there as well, and I think it's that mistiming right now that's throwing off the Centennial block. These hitters are so long for Northwest, you don't have to time it up perfect, and they still can hit it down.
Yeah, it's gonna be a few minutes here for everybody to get kind of accustomed to what's going on here.
Serve coming from Anna Pelds as Cheeseman sets it back to Schmidt, dug up there by Pelds once again. They're gonna go on the outside to Vogt, and Vogt hits it right between Leigh Butters and Miller, and Northwest has taken the early 4-2 lead. Pelds back to serve once again. The scouting report says know where Logan Vogt is. Pratt going to go on the outside to Pratt once again through the block, and good dig there. Once again, Pelds sends it to the back row. And the set brings Schmidt a little close to the net, and the power tip sails wide, and Northwest now has opened up a 5-2 lead. Jaguars a little out of sync offensively right now. Some of those balls coming back a little quicker than I think they're expecting.
I think they need to get these serve receive down so they can relax a little bit on the set and then get that nice ball to the outside. All starts with that first pass, though.
Pelds goes at Pratt. There's a good pass right in the middle. They go, and trying to tip it through is Ott. The Jags going to get a free ball coming back over. There's a good look. Cheeseman's going to go in the middle to Miller once again, and dug up in the back row, that time by Januowicz. They go to the outside to Vogt for the tip, and then Pratt tries to push it, and it goes long. And Northwest now has a 6-2 lead. All hitting errors right now on the Jaguars. Need to settle down in that offense right now. Pelds once again floats that one over at Leigh Butters. Leigh Butters on the overpass. Vogt decides to smash it home and does. Northwest takes advantage of that, and Jaguars going to take a timeout. They trail 7-2. Fast start for the Wolves. We'll be back after a break here on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
Fall sports coverage on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire, brought to you by these generous local businesses. Heart of Ankeny Animal Hospital, Extreme Services, West 40 Market, Birdie Murphy and Strong Law, Rainbow of the Heartland, Eat the Frog Fitness, Made in the Shade, Blinds and More, Fiscus Jewelers, Alter Metal Recycling, Cabaret Sports Bar and Grill.
After Pratt was blocked in the middle, miscommunication as far as who was going to set the ball, and it's now an 8-2 lead for Waukee Northwest, who is rolling here in game number 1. Pelds back to serve once again. A lot of errors on the part of the Jaguars right now. Pelds serve goes long, and that's one way to kill a rally. Easy way to do it when the Jaguars don't have to worry about hitting it back right now. As Tatum Schmidt goes back to serve, our first Hearts of Ankeny Animal Hospital substitution of the evening, as Finley Griner checks in for Megan Cheeseman. Schmidt serve, good pass, and is blocked over. Right there on it was Pratt, as Vogt hit right into her block. And they had her keyed up there, and just like that, it's 8-4. Jaguars with a couple quick points. The Jaguars can get in sync offensively. Look out. Right now have not been able. It's not the first time through the offense. It's that second time through. Vogt going to send it to her sister, and the ball gets over just barely. Schmidt goes on the outside. Griner, the lefty, can't quite get it down. And now the free ball is going to come back over as they push it to Leigh Butters. Schmidt in the middle to Ott. Ott through the block with a kill.
Jags just is going to get things settled down here. When they get those free balls, they just got to really capitalize on those free balls and get those points. Right now, they're just making errors even on those free balls, and that was a great example of them taking that free ball and terminating to get the point.
And they've had plenty of opportunities
They
on
have.
free balls coming over. Schmidt with a serve. Vogt pushes it out. Blocked there once again. Griner digs it up. Schmidt going to go on the outside of Pratt. Pratt, a little too much air on the tip. And Vogt overhanded, and Miller digs it up. Jaguars scrambling a little bit. Now the Jags going to send a free ball over. Dug up there by Taylor. Going to go on the outside to Vogt. Vogt with a tip, and covering it in the back row is Schmidt, but it goes out of bounds, and the side out heads back to Waukee Northwest. A lot of youth on this Waukee Northwest squad. 0 seniors on the roster. Their super sophomore, Logan Vogt, one of the top players overall in the class of 2027 in the entire Midwest, and she smokes that serve. Leigh Buttersville, a perfect pass as she goes out to Griner. Overpass coming up, and won the joust at the net. Jaguars going to have to send one over again. Taylor, they go in the middle, tipped over, Pratt. Back to the middle, Miller, roll shot, gets it in, but good hands by Vogt, and smashed down on the outside by Januowicz. And Northwest has doubled up the Jags once again. Waukee Northwest off to a very fast start. They led 8-2 as this game got started. Vogt back to serve once again. Goes at Pratt. Good pass from Pratt to Schmidt. Back out to Pratt. Pratt through the block and down.
Ankeny definitely staying aggressive still as Pratt definitely pounds that ball down.
Back to the front row now with Delaney Miller at the outside. Pratt, good serve and ace serve brought to you by Summit Family Dental. Doctors Millard and Linen. Looking forward to working on your teeth and give you that healthy smile. Pratt back once again, the closest the Jags have been since the beginning. Pratt, hard serve, Vogt. Gonna send it in the back row to Logan Vogt, and it's rejected by Ott.
Jags were prepared for that one. They did the back row attack on the right side, which is kind of atypical for high school volleyball, even college volleyball. Usually that back row attacks through the middle. They did it on the outside, and they were ready for it.
Pratt serve, overpass coming up. Miller joust at the net, and Miller wins it, and the Jags are on a run. A 4-0 run for Centennial.
You always love your odds with a setter, outside hitter joust up there, and she was able to pull that one off.
Pratt on a serve run. There's another overpass. Miller hammers it down. Is that saved by a foot? The push comes to the back row. I think Januowicz got a foot on it. Now to Miller, and Miller hits it into the net, and it's out of bounds. The point to Northwest. They just said tip. They said tip, but then they said out. But he said, I'm not sure how that works. I didn't think it was tipped, but he said tipped and out.
I don't think it went over the net.
I didn't think so either.
I thought it should have been
the result was correct. I just don't think he gave the right signal to get that result.
Exactly.
Cordes, the freshman, serving now. Great return there. Griner tries to send it to the back row on the tip. Now they go on the outside. Januowicz dug up by Miller. Back row attack. Pratt, roll shot, slap back over, and Pratt goes to the back once again. Got some rec volleyball going on there. No tip there. Northwest wanted a tip. Referees say no, and it's 11-10. Northwest in the lead. Another Hearts of Ankeny Animal Hospital substitution for the Jaguars. Nora Bacchus checks into serve. Sophie Heather back in the front row.
Yeah, Jake's able just to take a deep breath and get themselves back into this game. Good to see a nice little run from them as well.
Vogt was way under the net, and that's going to be a point to the Jaguars. So what's the rule on coming under the net that time, because her foot was all the way over the line?
Yeah,
okay,
you
can go over a little bit, correct?
Yeah, you can touch the net line, but as soon as you go all the way underneath, I think there is even some obstruction rules part of it in some of the levels of volleyball too, but I think in high school, if it's underneath at all with the whole foot over there, not touching the line at all, it's going to be a foul.
Piper Ladwig checks back in on the outside here for Waukee Northwest. Avery Vogt back to serve, goes right at Miller. In the middle they go, and Heather tries to tip it over. Both these teams keyed in on that tip right now, as we've seen a lot of blocks from both of them. Waukee Northwest wins that one. A lot of placement here early on in this game number 1. Best of 5 tonight. The first 4 games will get played to 25. If we have to go to game 5, it'll go to 15. That serve was going to go long. Leigh Butters sends it over, and right there to put it right back down was Cassidy Danberg on the overpass.
Yeah, reach over the top, was flirting really closely with being over the net there and attacking it before the offensive team had an opportunity to, but the referee let it go.
Vogt serving once again. Schmidt going to go to Greiner, and Greiner is blocked, and it goes out of bounds. Jaguars will get the point. Finley Greiner brings the added element of a really nice left-handed hitter on that right side, and has been a spark when she's come into the game for the Jaguars this season. Cheeseman back into serve. Floats that back at Vogt. In the middle they go, and good dig back there by Leigh Butters. Cheeseman going to come on the outside. Miller through the block. There's an overpass at the net, and Schmidt puts it down. The passing from these two teams has been iffy here early on. They've set up for a lot of highlight type kills for the other side. Long pass in there to Pratt, digs it up. They go in the middle, and Heather a little late coming up on the jump, and Northwest gets another point. Timing not great through the middle right now.
Just a little bit of tempo work that needs to be done in the middle there to get that one up in the right spot.
Janulowicz back to serve for Northwest. She goes at Pratt. Leigh Butters going to have to send over here on the right side. Schmidt on the tip, covered back there by Vogt. Sending it on the outside to Vogt, and she sends it long. Got under it.
Yeah, Libero was hoping for a touch there as that ball went sailing out of bounds, but no touch on that one.
Just got underneath it a little bit, and now Delaney Miller back to serve for the Jaguars. Miller hard at Vogt. They set it up to Vogt once again. Miller digs her up nicely. Cheeseman on the outside. Pratt with the tip, and it's blocked down. Heather keeps it alive. Back to Pratt once again. It's blocked. Heather digs it up once again. I feel like I've seen this before. Now Miller from the back row. Roll shot. Ladwig going to go to her on the right side, and Miller digs her up. Cheeseman going to try the other side to Schmidt, who gets the kill.
All of a sudden, out of nowhere, we have a defensive contest here as both teams were digging that ball up and extending that point. Nice job on the outside with that opposite kill there.
How about the awareness by Cheeseman with a block keyed in on Pratt? She eventually pushes it back out to Schmidt, who gets that kill. Now in the middle, Northwest with Ladwig. 6'3", Piper Ladwig, the transfer from Urbandale, is a weapon in there for Waukee Northwest.
Yeah,
he's now taking a 16-15 lead.
Normally playing opposite there. They moved her into the middle for that serve receive and able to convert on the hit there.
London Taylor, the libero, back to serve. The lefty goes at Miller. They like to serve at those outside. Schmidt just goes straight down with it. Jags have it tied back up. Maya Leigh Butters, 3-year starter, as now just a junior for the Jaguars. They go on the outside to Vogt, who hits it long. Waukee Northwest, Coach Vogt wants a timeout. Jags have taken their first lead of the match. They lead 17-16. We'll be back after this on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
So when an athlete walks into Nick Drosh Fitness, the one thing we want them to know is that this is a phenomenal community. We have the best coaching. We have the best technology. We have the programming that can help them succeed. So whether it's trying to get on JV for the first time, going to that next level on varsity, going from a second string to an all-state player, we have the tools, we have the programming and the coaching in order to take each individual to their next level.
Welcome back as the Jaguars have taken their first lead of game number 1, 17-16. And early on, the Jags were sloppy, but they've really settled in right now and got some of those unconventional points.
Yeah, definitely working hard and hustling and getting back into this game, spreading the ball around. We've had kills coming from almost every hitting position on the court right now.
In the middle, they try to go there to Cordes. Jags all over it, and Pratt comes through the block once again. Jaden Pratt, 2 years ago, I heard her described as a terminal hitter, and that was the first time that I had heard that term. And really, I mean, Jaden Pratt, when she hits it, it's usually not getting returned. It's going to be blocked, it's going down, or it's going out.
Exactly, exactly right.
Vogt tries to keep that in, and Pratt all over it once again with a point. Thought we might get a lift on the opposite side of the net, but Pratt puts it away either way. And now the Jags are up 19-16. How about this crowd on hand for the opener tonight? Welcoming home the third-ranked Jaguars. Leigh Butters going to force Vogt to set from the back row. The roll shot. Cheeseman from the right side. Schmidt cross court. Nice dig there by Taylor. On the outside, Vogt once again. Cheeseman has to dig it up. Pratt wants to set it, clears everybody out, and Schmidt puts it down once again.
The outside just says, get out of my way here. I'm going to put this one out. I want an assist, and she put it right where it needed to be, and Schmidt put it away.
Looked like one of her box out moves in basketball.
Absolutely.
As she set up to set that ball out to Tatum. Leigh Butters once again. They're trying to keep Vogt out of this offense as they set it on the outside to Cordes, who hits it long. And now it's Northwest trying to find a rhythm on offense. They once led 8-2, and now the Jaguars lead 21-16. And another timeout for Northwest. We'll take another quick break here. Jaguars 4 points away from taking game number 1 here on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
Okay guys, we're all here because US Cellular has an incredible deal. Right now, you can get 4 lines of unlimited data for just $90.
Sorry, just double checking. Is it really that good of a deal?
Yeah, you also get 4 free phones of your choice.
4 free phones!
And we're back here off the serve. Long hit once again, and they did call a tip that time, and the point will go to Waukee Northwest. I think Schmidt got a hand on that as it went long, and that gets a side out over to Northwest. Back to serve, Anna Peltz for Northwest.
Yeah, Centennial's done a nice job on their serving to keep it away from the libero and the defensive specialist and make those outside hitters pass, and it's definitely worked to their advantage so far as they sail one out of bounds.
Good communication there by the Jaguars as that serve goes long, and the side out comes back to the Jags, and Schmidt with the Jags in a 5-point lead right now in game number 1. Best of 5 tonight. Great crowd on hand here at Ankeny Centennial High School. Taylor, they're going to go with a set to the outside to Cordes, the freshman, who hits it through the block. You mentioned it, you've seen Cordes play, and she is going to be a good one for Coach Jody Vogt.
Yeah, just a freshman, just got a real quick snap on the outside. She's actually a middle hitter, but just saw her in warm-ups. Has got a great, just a basic hit there that she's going to be able to build on as she goes forward. As Jags are called for a rotation. Coach Reinhardt's going to get some explanation of what actually happened there.
So did she say that Griner stepped over behind Ott before the serve?
Well, I don't think so because Griner's playing on the outside, so there really be no reason for her to cross over in that situation.
Little mishandle on the push there by Pratt, and the Jaguars get the point back, and Pratt will try to end this game number 1. Waukee Northwest ranked number 7 in the preseason, and a very young team, as we mentioned, with no seniors, probably expecting to take a few lumps early on in the season. But this is a team that can be really good, and right there is one of those reasons why. Coach's daughter, Avery Vogt, the setter, elevates there, just under 6 foot, can go up and put that ball away like she just did.
And that's something hopefully Centennial sees that a couple times. They'll be able to play a little bit better defense on there. She is a righty, so it is a kind of an unconventional swing for her. It should be a little bit apparent for them to be able to see it coming.
Miller goes at Pelds, and it goes up off the rafters, and the Jaguars now with game point in game number 1. Another Hearts of Ankeny Animal Hospital substitution as Heather checks back in the game. Nora Bacchus to serve. Bacchus, state qualifying wrestler, out there on the volleyball court. They're going to go to Vogt in the back row, and great dig by Schmidt. Greiner going to send it back. Bacchus, the back row, sends it over, and then Miller with great vision pushes it to the corner on the rebound. And the Jaguars take game number 1, 25-20. We'll be back with game number 2 here on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
Everything we do is here to benefit the client. Every decision that's needed to be made, the first question you should ask is, does this benefit the client, and is this the best thing for the client?
Our goal is to make a difference. We have the tools, resources, training, and leadership to make a difference in our agents' lives and their careers. And then they can then take that to make a difference in their clients' lives and ultimately make a difference in our communities.
We are available basically 24/7 to make sure that our agents are getting the support they need to look like $1 million in front of their clients.
Fall sports coverage on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire, brought to you by these generous local businesses. Nick Jarash Fitness, Ted Sandine Photography, Game Day Men's Health, The District at Prairie Trail, Nolte & Sons Lawn and Irrigation, Sinorama Ankeny, Jay's Cookies, and Foot and Ankle Center of Iowa.
At US Cellular, you can pay just $29.99 per line.
So can I get just one line?
Yep, same price.
Can we each get a line for that price?
Sure can.
And I can get 6 lines.
Well, whether it is 1 line or 6 lines, it's still just $29.99 per line.
Target acquired.
Pay just $29.99 per line. US Cellular, built for us. With US Cellular Prepaid, you're always connected to the people who matter most. Even in the most hard-to-reach places. Get nationwide 5G coverage. And now, get 2 lines of unlimited data for just $60 a month. US Cellular, built for us.
And we're back here with game number 2 after the Jags take game number 1, 25-20. Austin, I'm quickly realizing that my voice is not in shape to call volleyball yet this year.
Exactly.
Got a couple other games going on tonight. Ankeny High is at Valley. I'm trying to figure out how to get into that one. I'm not able to get in to see the stream right now, but I would expect the Hawkettes to take control of that one tonight. Give you that score as we see it available. Austin, you had some stats from game number 1 through it, and really it was a matter of spreading that ball around because the Jaguars with a lot of weapons out there on the court.
Yeah, I think the standout in that first game was Tatum Schmidt on the outside with 4 kills. It's probably a little bit above her average per game, but she was definitely effective when they set her to get some opportunities for other players too. And that's going to open up the outside hitter in the middle as we move forward too. If they have to worry about her and get a block on her each time.
Cheeseman with the Jags getting the first point. Pass comes up, overpass, and at the net, Schmidt right there to knock it down. And the Jags doing their best to keep Logan Vogt out of the offense, and it started by serving at her over and over again. The young sophomore as now Waukee Northwest operating from the back row. Free ball comes over Pratt. They're going to go on the right side to Schmidt with a hot hand. Ball comes up. Vogt Tip over comes, and good job there by Cheeseman coming from her setter spot. Miller with a roll shot into the opening. Good job there by Taylor to get it in off the block. Heather digs it up. On the outside, Miller tries to put it down and does, as Vogt got a hand on it. And it's 3-0 Jaguars, the fast start in game 2. And as we saw in game 1, the fast start means nothing.
Now, I kind of think this is what we kind of thought was going to happen in game 1, but it kind of went opposite of what we thought with the youth on the Wolves side.
On the outside they go, and a good kill there on the outside there from Ladwig. And Waukee Northwest, with their hitters in rhythm, are very good, but they've had issues passing the ball so far.
Absolutely. It's definitely throwing them off. Somebody just needs to take control on the team, show some veteran leadership, and get them going in the right direction with that first good pass.
And there's a miscommunication on the part of the Jaguars. The ball falls between Pratt and Leigh Butters. And the ace there for Janilowitz. 3-2 Jaguars lead in game number 2. They go at Leigh Butters. That's just such a perfect pass to Cheeseman, and then Heather knocks it through, and that perfect pass allows you to go wherever you want to go with that set.
Yeah, it'd be the last person I'd be serving on this Jag serve receive, as she is just so solid and so consistent that it just leads to instant offense whenever she's passing the ball.
Delaney Miller, senior captain, back to serve. As they go to Ladwig once again in the middle, and Ladwig's long arms get up there. Doesn't even have to jump, and it allows you a lot of wiggle room on the serve as she puts that down.
2 kills in a row for her.
And with the Jags keyed in on Vogt, that may be where they have to go with things. Taylor back to serve. Goes at Leigh Butters. They keep it in, and Heather puts it down. How about the set of Megan Cheeseman on what looked to be an overpass?
Yeah, Cheeseman just elevated, one-handed, just popped that ball up to the middle, and Heathers was ready to go and put that ball down.
Cheeseman, the setter, is the tallest player on this Jaguar squad. And there's a serve that just goes long from Leigh Butters.
Now, Ludwig's taking a seat on the bench. It'll be interesting to see where they try to get the offense going again, because she's been pretty much the offense as she's moved across the front of the row.
Serve goes at Leigh Butters. This one sends Cheeseman to the back row, but right in rhythm to Jaden Pratt, who once again gets up in the air and terminates that ball. Schmidt back to serve. This one of just 4 home dates for the Jaguars this year. Another one will be next weekend when they play, or next Tuesday night when they play Urbandale, as Pratt wins that joust at the net with a setter Vogt.
Yeah, no jump ball with her. She's going to put that ball away almost every time. Got size, length, and power there up against the setter for the Northwest Wolves.
Pratt, the future Division I basketball player. Good serve there from Schmidt. Gets the down ball coming over as Schmidt covers. Leigh Butters right there. Finley Griner, the lefty, through the block. And Northwest having a tough time as the Jags go back to the court. They've got that line protected with Vogt over there, but really struggling to get a block as the Jags try to work that middle part of the court. 8-4 Jags. Schmidt goes long, and there's another ace serve. Brought to you by Summit Family Dental.
Well, Cheeseman and Schmidt are just doing a great job of just distributing it all over the to all the hitters, back row, front row, quick tempo.
Schmidt, the serve to Taylor. Gonna go to Vogt, and Vogt dug up there. Nice dig by Miller in the back row, and then the little miss hit there off the low set. And the Wolves will get the point. Vogt back to serve, and as we saw, she can smoke it from back there. 9-5 Jags. Goes at Miller. Nice pass from Miller. They go to the middle, and again, can't get on top of that hit. They go to the outside here with Janilowitz, and that's through the block and a point for Northwest.
Yeah, just not getting enough air underneath that set for the middle hitter to be able to hit that ball. She's having to hit it more towards her shoulder rather than to be able to extend all the way up above her head where she can get that nice wrist snap to get that ball to go down. They'll get that adjusted as they get a little bit more comfortable with each other here in the middle.
Pratt. He gets sent back in. They're going to go back to Pratt. Little roll shot in the middle, overpass, but Jags not able to control it. Now Waukee Northwest in rhythm. The tip comes through. They keep it alive, and Jaguars out of system. Northwest back in system, and the tip right there. Great vision by Avery Vogt. She goes over her head and finds the opening. Now we've seen her do a couple different things to get kills from that setter spot.
Yeah, the Wolves are running a 5-1, and she's in the front row right now, so she's got a lot more of an ability to be able to do some different things. Doesn't have to stay underneath the plane of the net.
Tough serve there by Vogt, but they get it to Pratt, who's rejected there, keeping it alive, and Schmidt sends it over. Now Northwest on the attack. In the middle they go, and it's blocked down by Pratt. They keep it alive, though. Pratt decides to control the ball. They go on the right side to Griner, who smokes it down the line. Great vision by Finley Griner to see the block wasn't there, and for the first time tonight, they go down the line.
Yeah, that opposite hit's been something that the Wolves have had trouble with all night, whether it be Schmidt on the outside or
Griner there.
Griner on the outside.
And their Vogt, that's a weapon right now for Northwest with Avery Vogt in the front row, like you mentioned, in this 5-1. That's another hitter that you've got to account for, as she has taken that second ball and terminated it several times.
Much better identification of her being up in that front row that time, as they had the blockers there, just forced it through the block in that situation.
Northwestern straight down as the block not there for the Jags, and the length once again, Cassidy Danberg. There are some tall players. There are 4 or 5 players for Northwest taller than every player on the Jags side of the court. Cordes to serve, goes long. Jaguars hold on to that 11-9 lead. Another Heart of Ankeny Animal Hospital substitution as Bacchus and Heather back in the game. Heather provided an offensive spark when she was in the front row earlier on in this game in the rotation. Bacchus serve. Good pass, they go on the outside. Januowicz tips it through the block. I'm not sure she meant to do that. She looked, judging by the body language after, but the result works in the Wolves' favor.
Yeah, fairly unconventional there, and just happened to kind of work its way right. The tip worked its way right around the block and able to drop down for the kill.
So Vogt trying to tie this thing up. Miller, great pass in the middle. They go off the serve receive, and they go to Griner, who puts it down right on the line. We welcome all of you watching tonight. We want to be sure and thank the district at Prairie Trail for their presenting sponsorship of what we've got going on, both here on Centennial Digital and the Ankeny Activities Network. Go down there and visit Prairie Trail, the district, and see all the great things they've got going on, including the final Nash Nights. As that one is hit through the block once again by Danberg. The final Nash Nights coming up next weekend. And right now tickets are BOGO. If you go online, you see the link as well on our Facebook page. 12-11, Jags clinging to a lead. Miller, another great pass. They go in the middle to Heather, but right there is Vogt. Has that one sniffed out, and after the fast start, Waukee Northwest has tied this one up. I feel like I've seen this before, the opposite way in game one.
Surprise, surprise, it's tied up at 12.
Janowicz. Goes at Leigh Butters. And Miller finds the opening. That cross-court hit is so hard to judge in the back row because the ball stays in the air a lot longer, and you're thinking that it can go long, and it ends up being 10 foot in.
Yeah, it's just a long distance to go from that opposite, from the near post all the way to the opposite corner. It just takes a long time for that ball to get there, and it is very deceptive.
On the outside, they go to Vogt, and hits that long. The line judge stared at it for a long time before eventually saying it was long.
I think you might have got that one wrong, but it was pretty close. He's a lot closer than me, I guess.
He's right there. We'll say he got it right. Miller to serve once again, and goes off the face, it looked like, of Taylor. And the ball sent back over. Jags in business on the free ball. They go on the outside to Pratt off the block, and it lands. Not too often you see a ball go on a hand and up from Jaden Pratt, and that one did, but it falls harmlessly to the ground.
It kind of went in slow motion there as the defense tried to react to that off the top of the block. It just couldn't get it going.
Taylor, good pass to Vogt. They go in the middle. Cheeseman keeps it in, and she's in the net. And once again, Ladwig, it's unconventional because she swings. She's facing everything this way and is able to, it's almost like she's throwing the ball, and it allows her to put it wherever she wants, really.
Yeah, with the Jag serve receive right now, I'd be focused in on wherever Ladwig is at. Now she's in the right front position, so they've been going to her almost every serve receive that they've gotten a chance to get to her. So I'd be keying in on that as she comes to the back row and comes back up to the front row. When she gets back up there, it'd be something I'd definitely be focusing on as she made her way to the front row again.
And Heather pushes that one through. Good vision by her to swipe it off the block. And it's 16-13 Jaguars. Maya Leigh Butters, the libero, back to serve. Goes at Vogt. Avery Vogt has to bring it over. Ladwig smokes it down once again. Man, she just gets on top of the ball wherever she is. And then Schmidt sends it over. In the middle they go. A little push, but covered there by Schmidt. Back row attack by Miller, who sends it long.
Great set, though. Great idea moving forward with that set. Miller just wasn't able to get on top of it to get that ball down, but a great little run they had there.
Waukee Northwest hanging around here in game number 2. Jaguars lead 1-0 after a 25-20 game 1 win. Right side, Schmidt dug up there by Janulowicz. On the outside they go to Vogt, and Vogt off a couple Jaguar hands gets the kill. And again, that's the cross-court one that we said is hard to read. The ball's in the air a long time. Sometimes has some wiggle to it as well. It's almost like a serve receive at that point.
Yeah. It's going to be something that Delaney Miller is going to want to maybe make a small adjustment to maybe take a couple steps over to that other side to take away that shot for them.
As that serve goes long, another side out. And Finley Griner back in the game. Number 3, Centennial. Number 7, Waukee Northwest. These two teams played in the state semifinals a year ago, with Waukee Northwest winning in 5, and there the Jaguars are all over that. To the outside they go. A tip coming in, covered there by Pratt. Back row attack. Ball coming over once again. Jaguars on the attack. They go in the middle, and it's blocked out of there. The timing just wasn't great as Ott had to hit the ball coming down. He couldn't get on top of it as Avery Vogt and Avery Cordes teamed up on the block. Logan Vogt back to serve. Right at Miller. They go in the middle. Little roll shot there by Pratt, who is, the game appears to be moving very slow for Jaden Pratt tonight. She is putting that ball wherever she wants.
Yeah, it was a nice choice. Just a little bit of a touch was enough to throw off the approaching defenders. Weren't able to get a ball up underneath on that one.
And with the sets coming from Megan Cheeseman, Pratt gets to operate above the net and see everything. As there's a miscommunication as Janulowicz has the ball hit her in the face coming down. And the Jaguars have taken a 19-16 lead. Pratt back to serve once again. They talk in basketball about playing above the rim, and tonight Jaden Pratt's playing above the net.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of seeing everything below her right now, it sure seems like. From the back row, Vogt, big swing, but what a save by Leigh Butters into the bench. Then Miller off the hammer. Vogt sends it back to Vogt once again into the net, and how about that effort by Maya Leigh Butters for the Jaguars? Timeout, Waukee Northwest. Jaguars up by 4. Back after this on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
Fall sports coverage on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire, brought to you by these generous local businesses. Weichert Realtors, the 515 Agency. U.S. Cellular by Cellular Advantage. Game Day Men's Health. The District at Prairie Trail. Reed Plumbing. The Alter Metal Recycling. And Lamberti, Murphy, and Strong Law.
Jaden Pratt back to serve once again. She's on a roll. Game was tied at 16 when she took over. Floats that one over. Avery Vogt going to go back row to Logan Vogt into the net. Northwest needs to find a few other weapons at the moment. 21-16, Jaguars in the lead.
Yeah, when there's a doubt, when in doubt of where they're going to go, Vogt's going to get it to her sister wherever she's out on the court.
They go on the right side. That goes through the block and down for the freshman, Avery Cordes.
Did a nice job of getting him out of a tough spot. Wolves need a run right here to get back into this game. Just down 3.
Maya Lay-Butters has been outstanding in the back row. Griner off the block and out of bounds. And how about the distribution tonight of the setters, Cheeseman and Schmidt? They have sent the ball to all these different Jaguar hitters.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier, it's just been a real joy to watch them be able to utilize it all. And I tell you what, if they're not going to stop them on that opposite, I'd keep setting that as much as I can because it's going to open up things for everybody else as it moves forward. Because they just have not been able to stop that opposite yet.
Ellie Pollock in to serve on a Hearts of Ankeny Animal Hospital substitution. Point to the Jaguars as it goes long. First time calling a game that this daughter is part of, so fun moment here tonight. 23-17 Jags. Vogt tries to push it over into the opening. Schmidt sends it on the outside to Miller. Miller across the court, dug up by Taylor. On the outside, Januowicz off it. And Pollock going to pass on the outside to Griner. Griner tries to put it down, can't quite do it. On the middle, they go to Vogt. Once again, dug up by Pratt. Great dig there by Pratt on the outside to Miller, who smokes it. Absolutely smokes Pelz. Jaden Pratt. Wow. Or Miller, excuse me. Miller.
Miller, yeah. Delaney Miller just unleashed a cannon on the DS for the Wolves.
And that's what happens when you can't get a block. Floats that one over once again. Vogt going to set it, and that ball goes long. No tip, and the Jaguars take game number 2, 25-17. We'll be back with game number 3 on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
Fall sports coverage on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire, brought to you by these generous local businesses. Nick Jarash Fitness, Ted Sandine Photography, Game Day Men's Health, The District at Prairie Trail, Nolte and Sons Lawn and Irrigation, Sinorama Ankeny, Jay's Cookies, and Foot and Ankle Center of Iowa.
At US Cellular, you can pay just $29.99 per line.
So can I get just one line?
Yep, same price.
Can we each get a line for that price?
Sure can.
And I can get 6 lines.
Well, whether it is 1 line or 6 lines, it's still just $29.99 per line.
Target acquired.
Pay just $29.99 per line. US Cellular, built for us.
So when an athlete walks into Nick Jarash Fitness, the one thing we want them to know is that this is a phenomenal community. We have the best coaching. We have the best technology. We have the programming that can help them succeed. So whether it's trying to get on JV for the first time, going to that next level on varsity, going from a second string to an all-state player, we have the tools, we have the programming and the coaching in order to take each individual to their next level.
Okay guys, we're all here because US Cellular has an incredible deal. Right now, you can get 4 lines of unlimited data for just $90.
Sorry, just double checking. Is it really that good of a deal?
Yeah, you also get 4 free phones of your choice.
4 free phones!
back here in set number 3 as Megan Cheeseman back to serve for the Jaguars. She's one of the setters that has had a great night distributing the ball. 2 hitters right now for Centennial with double-digit kills. Tatum Schmidt has 9, and there's a kill for Delaney Miller. So great night distributing the ball. Tatum Schmidt also setting in that 6-2, so has several kills and several assists from that spot. A double-double maybe. We'll have to see what that looks like as the night goes on. Vogt goes way into the net, and that pass sends her there, and the Jaguars now up 2-0 here in game number 2.
And really the Jags have learned their lesson, because on that ball we had a blocker up there right on top of that setter, so she wasn't able to even have an opportunity to be able to take that one, or if she would have got stuffed.
And nearly an ace serve there as Vogt pushes it over, and Schmidt there for the block, and that was one of those that if it gets through, would probably have a chance to run the play, but as a blocker, you're not going to let anything through if you can help it. Ankeny leads 2-0 down at Valley. They are just starting game number 3 down there. Miller to Cheeseman, back to Miller. Miller off the block. Vogt going to set it in the middle to Janulewicz. Cheeseman comes now on the outside. Miller off the block, keeping it alive, and that's 4 hits. So Austin explained to me the rules now, because Vogt comes over, but she's allowed to do that. You can send it back over outside the court, correct?
I don't think anymore when it crosses the plane of the net, the play's over right away. So she just hadn't crossed the plane, but just didn't have an angle enough to be able to get it back to where it needed to go.
Ladwig is blocked there by Heather. Free ball coming over for the Jaguars. Miller, what a pass in the middle they go, but then Schmidt goes deep corner. Vogt on the outside to Vogt, off the block, but Miller's right there for it. Cheeseman out to Pratt. Oh! Pratt got a little too excited there, and so did I. 3-2 Jags here, leading already 2-0 in game 3. London Taylor, the sophomore libero, back to serve. Goes at Miller, who's been really good passing tonight. Pratt with a little roll shot, dug up by the setter, Vogt. Now they go to Logan Vogt on the outside, through the block. Cheeseman in the middle to Miller. It's blocked once again. Cheeseman keeps it alive.
I don't know how they got that one back over, but
Ladwig into the block and out of bounds. Ties it up at 3.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed in the second and the beginning of the third game, the hitting coverage for the Jags has gotten just significantly better as the game's gone on here. All these tips that were scoring in the first game are getting covered fairly easily now as these hitters have gotten used to seeing where these balls are coming from.
Schmidt hits it into the block of Avery Cordes. And now Northwest has taken their first lead since game number 1. Taylor back to serve once again. Leigh Butters. And this time once again on the middle. The good pass allowed him to try to do that, but something not right there between Cheeseman and Heather.
Yeah, just some tempo issues. They got definitely something to work on for next practice is just getting some reps in that middle area so they can understand how each other is jumping a little bit better.
Pratt tries to go through the block. The pushover comes from Vogt. Miller right there for it. On the right side, Schmidt tries to tool the block. In the middle they go, and Cordes, the freshman, hits it straight down at about 12 feet. Nice in-rhythm play there by the Wolves. And they've doubled up the Jaguars here in game 3. Taylor at Pratt. Cheeseman, in the middle they go to Miller. Good pass in the back row from Janulewicz. They go to Ladwig, dug up by Miller. Jaguars gonna have to send the free ball over. Long, high free ball. Vogt can go wherever she wants. She goes in the middle to Ladwig, who gets it down before the block gets there, and it's 7-3.
Yeah, nice little tandem run. They had a quick front and a quick back. Makes that middle make a decision on which one she's going to be going to block, and she chose incorrectly. And Ladwig went up there with no block, was able to put that ball down fairly easily.
Float serve coming over at Pratt. Cheeseman decides to go to the right side. Schmidt dug up. Northwest much better over the hitters right now for the Jags. They've dug them up a bunch. They go on the outside. Pratt, and Pratt hits it off the antenna out of bounds. And the Jaguars, looking much like they did in game number 1 to start, they trail 8-3. We'll be back with more here in game number 3. Jaguars will lead 2-0 here on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom.
What if you could create memories that would last a lifetime? That would be pretty cool. Well, now you can.
Waukee Northwest in the lead here in game number 3. They led 8-2 in game number 1 before the Jaguars called a timeout and got back in and won game 1 25-20. Taylor, though, has solved the Jaguars' offense here as Miller, the roll shot, they try to go to the middle, and Cheeseman has to come through. Probably not ideal to have Cheeseman take that ball, and Schmidt into double digits now with 10 kills on the night. Probably not ideal to have your setter take a free ball that's right in the middle of the court, but it worked out.
Yeah, just need to get some transition from those hitters off of the net to be able to take those. Yeah, you're exactly right, Andy, on calling out that the setter shouldn't be taking that first ball. It worked out, but not ideal for sure.
Sophie Heather with a hard serve. They go on the outside, and Miller with a dig. Pratt goes cross court for the kill, up 6 rows into the bleachers. So many young Jaguars here tonight. It is camper night, so any of the young ladies who went to volleyball camp over the summer, if they wear their neon shirt, they get in for free, and there are a bunch of those neon shirts in the crowd. 8-5 Jags. Heather back to serve for the first time this year after her first serve there, and now Leigh Butters comes in, back in, as Heather sends that one long. Anna Peld's in to serve. She went on a little run in game number 1. Goes up Miller, and another mistimed hit in the middle. I think Cheeseman just told Maddie Ott to slow down, take a deep breath. 10-5 again, Northwest has the Jags doubled up. Nice serve off the roll. On the outside, they go to Pratt. Pratt cross court again.
Wow.
That spot has been great for the Jaguars tonight.
Just super effective, just lengthening that shot out and taking it all the way to that back corner. Great shot. Yeah, with this miscommunication with the middles, what I would do as a setter is I would say, let's just dumb this down and get a really basic 2-set, just a high middle, and get that timing back and be able to come back and see if we can run the tempo after that. But they need to do something to get the timing back in that middle. Because if we don't have that middle blocker can go to those outsides and have a double block out there really easily.
Good rhythm there for Vogt to get the ball out to Cordes. And Northwest still 5-point lead. Great serve there by Logan Vogt. Now Griner going to have to send the free ball over. Leaves it short. Cordes to Vogt, who pushes it over, but the Jags are all over it. Vogt now to the outside to Januowicz off the tip. Pratt digs it up, and they try to get it to Ott in the middle, and that time, not pretty, but it works. Pratt just kind of pushes that ball through to the other side. 11-7, Northwest in the lead. And on the overpass, Miller right there to stuff Vogt. Not much Vogt can do about it. Helpless feeling as a setter when that first pass sends you up into the net.
Well, and the Jags have learned and adjusted. So they are definitely up on those tight sets to know that she's going to maybe take that one over.
There's another one, but the Jags dug out. Griner puts it down. Fade away there. Kobe for Finley Griner. Places it exactly where it needs to go. Now the Jags back in a little bit of a rhythm offensively. Pratt back to serve. Vote to Vote. Off the tip, covered there by Miller. Now they're going to go out to Griner, the lefty, into the net. Might have caught the jaw through the net of Avery Cordes as she came away holding her face. That'll pepper a little bit. You're not usually protecting yourself when you're down on the other side of the net. 12-9, Jags trail, Waukee Northwest, Lay Butters. Schmidt on the outside, a little roll shot right in the middle. Delaney Miller playing chess out there as she finds the opening. Heather back in, and another Hearts of Ankeny Animal Hospital substitution. Maya Lay Butters is back to serve. In the middle they go, and through the block there for Danberg. Waukee Northwest stays in control. Ladwig set to check back in.
So let's key in on her as we get into serve receive for the Wolves here. She won't be in this set right here because she'll be able to move to her natural position outside. But on serve receive, I want to really see if they utilize her like they have been. Right on the line.
That ball, I think Northwest thought it was going out of bounds, and it, again, coming from across the court, up in the air a long ways, and it lands splat right down on the line.
So we have Ladwig on the outside hitter situation here. I wouldn't be surprised to see her. They try to get it to Vote on the backside, and they do so.
Vote pushes it through.
Wasn't pretty, but it worked.
I thought the setter might have got away with a double.
Yeah.
You're not going to see that called a whole lot this year, but that was one that certainly was not looking right coming off her hands.
The turnovers I've seen, they've been called, is still pretty tight because really the rule hasn't trickled down to this level yet. But yeah, Andy, I think you're exactly right that would have been a good candidate for seeing one whistle there. I don't think we've seen one. We have maybe had one called the whole match.
I don't think we have actually yet
I think
tonight.
we tried to call one earlier.
Yeah,
in the
it was
game
not
one,
called.
But
yep.
it was not called.
Janulowicz goes across the court. They're going to go to Miller on the right side. Roll shot there once again. Vote sets it up to Ladwig down through the block. Piper Ladwig at 6'3", doesn't need to jump too high, and she is over top of the Jaguars. In Northwest, 16-11 lead the Jaguars here in game number 3. We'll be back with more here on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
Freedom Tire is proud to be the title sponsor of supporting Jaguar student athletes through Centennial Digital. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping your family safely on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Come see us at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of Centennial Digital.
Waukee Northwest in control here in game number 3 after the Jags won the first 2 games quite handily. They lead 16-11 right now. Miller, the pass on the right side. Again, that timing to the middle, not quite on, but Heather does get the kill. I was looking today, former Jaguar Anna Sash is starting up at Wartburg. I know you had a chance to coach Anna. She is second on the team in blocks, and I believe second on the team in kills from a middle spot a few games into the season there. So exciting to see her as a freshman contributing up there. Wartburg, I believe it was 4-0 they are on the season. As Vogt gets up in the air and out of bounds, and they say it was off the block. Jaguars need to find their fire back that they had in end of game 1 and all of game 2. As Northwest is cruising right now in game 3. Taylor back to serve. Lay Butters to Cheeseman on the right side. Schmidt, and it's blocked back over.
One of the very few times that they've been able to get a block up there on that opposite and be able to actually get a stop on it. So that's good for the Wolves to make their adjustments as well.
Just feel like the air's kind of been let out of the sails of the Jags right now in game 3. all that momentum heading into things. Right now, can't get the ball to their outsides. They try to go to Miller right now, and that's one way to do it, as Vogt can't do anything but put her hands up in front of her face. And now Pollock checks in to serve once again, and another Hearts of Ankeny Animal Hospital substitution. 18-13, Waukee Northwest in the lead. Vogt gonna have to set from the back row. They go on the outside. The tip comes over. Cheeseman's right there. Pollock passes it out to Schmidt, who smokes it out of bounds. Anna Peld's back to serve with Northwest in a 19-13 lead. Northwest has settled down quite a bit. There's a miscommunication and Ott into the scorer's table. Miscommunication on the serve receive between the two seniors, Pratt and Miller. Northwest just cruising right now in game 3. Peld's back to serve. On the outside, Pratt, and she terminates that one. Need more of that Jaden Pratt play.
That's what I was going to say. As soon as Delaney hit that back row, and you were asking for that, the energy to get back in there, I'd be getting this ball to Pratt 100% and get her going again. And I would not be opposed to seeing her going right out to her again.
Ellen Schmidt looked like it came off her hand weird. Football score alert, 21-14. Logan Vogt back to serve for Northwest. Pratt, go back to her. Northwest on the attack. Block coming back through. Maddie Ott's right there for it. And now Jaden Pratt, who's had some nice service rallies tonight, steps back in to serve once again. Back row attack to Vogt, and Schmidt puts her hands up defensively. I think it was sailing long, but when that's coming at your head, the natural thing to do is to stick your hands up. And Northwest still cruising here in game 3.
And maybe it's kind of one of the reasons. I mean, we haven't heard Vogt's name that much here in this third game, especially when they've been going on this run, and they just started to spread the ball around a little bit and not have the offense be so focused on her, and has led to this lead.
Cordes, serve, an ace serve for Northwest. Jaguars going to need to refocus here in this one. Cordes, the freshman, steps back in again. They go at Pratt once again. Cheeseman outside to Ott, who goes off the block from the right side. Maddie Ott, all-state softball player for the Jaguars, was part of the all-tournament team a year ago on the Jaguars state championship softball team. Out here starting at middle now on the volleyball court. An incredible athlete, Maya Butters on the serve. They go on the outside, and right there to dig it up is Schmidt. Little miscommunication, though, as Cheeseman was in and Leigh Butters tried to take the pass.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those quirky things about that 6-2 is you've got that setter, that extra setter up there in that right front that can sometimes take some of those second balls. And Butters is usually one that in most offenses would be taking that second ball. But when you have both the setters out there on the floor, it leads to some different situations.
And we've seen it there again as both setters went after the ball and dig right there. That's tough, but Leigh Butters,
wow,
good job off the roof. On the right side, Ladwig off the block and gets the kill to end game number 2. Waukee Northwest comes back with a vengeance, winning game number 3, 25-16. We'll be back with game 4 here after this on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom.
What if you could create memories that would last a lifetime? That would be pretty cool, Well, now you can.
Fall sports coverage on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire and brought to you by these generous local businesses. Heart of Ankeny Animal Hospital, Extreme Services, West 40 Market, and Bertie Murphy and Strong Long, Rainbow of the Heartland, Eat the Frog Fitness, Made in the Shade Blinds and More, Fiscus Jewelers, Alter Metal Recycling, Cabaret Sports Bar and Grill.
Everything we do is here to benefit the client. Every decision that's needed to be made, the first question you should ask is, does this benefit the client, and is this the best thing for the client?
Our goal is to make a difference. We have the tools, resources, training, and leadership to make a difference in our agents' lives and their careers. And then they can then take that to make a difference in their clients' lives and ultimately make a difference in our communities.
We are available basically 24/7 to make sure that our agents are getting the support they need to look like $1 million in front of their clients.
Yeah, get a wet paper towel.
The Jaguars in game 3, after hitting over 200 for the first 2 games of the night, hit just 183 there in game number 3 with 15 attack errors. And that comes after having only 10 between the first 2 games combined. So Jaguars looking to get back in rhythm offensively. I think it's going to start by moving the ball back to the outsides and really working to get Delaney Miller and Jaden Pratt back into the offense.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw them, just a little bit off in the middle for sure, just with the tempo, and just gave away too many points there and opportunities for a rally. But yeah, I think Pratt and Miller are going to be the ones that I'd be going to at least get this game started and get it going in the right direction, because they're just so electric. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but
look at the stats there, brought to you by Jen Oliver with New American Funding. Get a hold of Jen to find out how you can refinance or own your first home or your next home. Known Jen for a long time. Just talked to her on the phone the other day to find out how the market is going right now. We've seen a dip in mortgage rates lately. Good time to check in and see if you can save some money on your mortgage. Going to go to Pratt, who has to push it over this time. She goes deep to Vogt. In the middle they go, and good defense there by Schmidt, but the Jags going to have to send a free ball over once again. Vogt sets it to Vogt in the middle, hammers it down, overpass coming up, and off the block is Danberg, excuse me. And Waukee Northwest gets that first point of game number 3, and they've certainly settled in on their offense after we saw their passing iffy in game 1 and 2. They have been a lot better here and done a nice job getting the ball to their hitters as that serve goes long. Sends the side out back over to the Jaguars as Megan Cheeseman will go in to serve. Cheeseman serves it long. So each side trades service errors. Newellitz back to serve, and she goes into the net. 3 missed serves in a row between the two teams.
And there really hasn't been that many missed serves. We had a few go long in maybe game 2,
Very uncharacteristic here tonight. So Miller going to try to break the curse. She does. Going to send Vogt to the back row to try to push it towards the front, and back in the day that definitely would have been a double there. Nothing called now as they go the back row to Miller, off the block. Back set, and the block comes through, but Schmidt right there for it. Going to go back row again. Miller, the roll shot, sees the opening and puts it right where it needs to be.
Yeah, Cheeseman, a nice job of just being calm, cool, and collective there, and just got it to one of her thumpers and got the roll shot to be able to get the point.
This young Waukee Northwest squad is going to grow up a lot over these next several weeks. No seniors on the team. Off last year's state championship team had a bunch of seniors. Push it out to the right side as Schmidt with a tip. Ball goes up high up in the air and joust at the net, and the Jaguars get the point. Tatum Schmidt showing off the strength. Tatum Schmidt and Sophie Heather's mothers were teammates back at Iowa Falls back in the day for some great volleyball teams there. Tatum Schmidt's mother and my wife, the mother of Ellie Pollack, were teammates at Wartburg back in the day. My wife also played with Jody Vogt, the head coach for Waukee Northwest in high school. So a lot of different, the family web of volleyball is, the family ties in the web of volleyball are running strong tonight. As I grew up, that Vogt pedigree comes from the DeVries side up in Applington, and the head coach of West Virginia, former Drake head coach Darren DeVries, is the brother of Waukee Northwest coach Jody Vogt. Jared DeVries, former NFL All-Pro with the Detroit Lions, as well as in the Iowa Hawkeye Hall of Fame as a defensive lineman. So a very athletic family, and older sister, now I can't think of older sister, Cameron Vogt, is now at UNI playing volleyball. Jody did play her volleyball at UNI, and obviously the top recruit in the state for the class of 2027 is Logan Vogt, looking to carry on the family name. And oh yeah, Delaney Miller's in. Her mom's the head trainer at Drake, who had Darren DeVries that she trained all his players. As that tip comes through, they keep it alive. I thought the ball was off the net, or off the floor, but they kept it alive. Now on the outside to Pratt, and that's what we've been waiting for. That wakes up the crowd, and the Jags lead 6-2.
I did play DeVries in tennis in high school.
He was a good player, yeah.
I beat him, though. I beat him in doubles, so my claim to fame for beating down DeVries when he was in high school.
Was that Dizer Geneseo, or was it the Port City Union back in the day? It was, all right.
Days, yep.
Vogt has to slide that one over. Back row to Miller. Miller just long on the end line. I'm sure I missed some familial ties here tonight.
Well, that was quite a tangent you went on.
Yeah, I had some time to kill.
The circle of life there for sure.
I can say that Megan Cheeseman's aunt and uncle used my dad as their veterinarian up in Parkersburg. That's 4 hits. That was 4. There we go. All right. They waited till it went out of bounds, but that was 4 hits. Yeah, interesting. Last year, with my daughter Addie on the Jaguar volleyball team, Cheeseman's, I believe it's their uncle, came into my dad's clinic and's like, hey, that's my niece on your poster. And Dad's like, that's my granddaughter on that poster. So
very cool.
On the outside, Pratt, that roll shot covered by Vogt. Januowicz sends it out to Vogt, who goes straight down, but Jaguars keep it alive. Gonna send it on the right side. Schmidt, good swing, and rejected down by Logan Vogt. As Anna Pelds checks back into the game for Northwest.
Jags want to get a quick sight out here to keep this lead here in the 4th game.
Pelds had a nice rally in game number 3 there to help them get the win, and Ott has to tip that one. Someone was in the net. Ott keeps it alive, though. Free ball going to come back over for the Jags. Right where they want it. Leigh Butters covers on the outside to Pratt, and it's blocked down hard by Avery Vogt.
I think that was the setter.
Avery Vogt, not your typical setter. She's in there about 5'11", and very athletic. Gets up in the air there. As you mentioned, though, Jaguars want to keep this lead right now. Cheeseman covers a lot of ground, and Pratt can't get it over, and just like that, it's 7-6 Jags. Pelds went on the long run earlier. Looking to do it again. Floats that at Miller. Jaguars going to get out of system once again. Pratt the roll shot. Now Northwest on the attack. All the way on the outside, and Vogt hits it into the bottom of the net, and that's the side out the Jags needed. Finley Griner checks back in for the Jags, and another Hearts of Ankeny Animal Hospital substitution.
I think this is a rotation really would want to see us get on a run here with Pratt on the outside, Finley on the opposite. Should be a good opportunity for them to score points.
And that ball is into the net and down. Up ref on that right away, saying there was no touch. And the Jaguars back up to a 3-point lead here. Leading 3-1, or 2-1, excuse me. 3-1, it would be over. Good pass there by Logan Vogt. In the middle they go, and Vogt hits it. It works. Jaguars can't get it over, though. Vogt hangs in the air forever, allows you to sometimes get those ugly ones to get through. And Logan Vogt's back to serve now. She goes at Pratt. Good serve receive, and they try to slide it over to Ott, and again, just things through the middle are not clicking tonight for the Jaguars. This weekend, things were really clicking through the middle for the Jaguars. At Pratt, go on the outside. Griner, she sends it long. Tied up for the first time here in game number 4. Jags have gone flat. Not much adjusting you can do when it's a bunch of hitting errors. In the middle to Pratt, and Pratt hits it long. 3 straight hitting errors on the Jaguars. Coach Reinhardt tells everybody to settle down a little bit. Northwest has taken the lead here now in game 4. Vogt at Miller this time. Going to go in the middle. The roll shot is blocked. Jags going to have to send the free ball over. Taylor right there to cover. They go on the outside and smoking it down, but Leigh Butters is right there for the dig. But the Jags going to send another free ball over. Northwest on the attack with all their hitters, and Avery Vogt pushes it down. And now Northwest is taking an 11-9 lead. Jaguars going to make a little substitution. Cheeseman checks into the game on the right side for Griner. Going to try to shore up that block on the right side. Jags trying to figure out where they need to line up right now. Float serve coming over at Leigh Butters. Cheeseman on the outside. Pratt rolls it through, but once again Northwest there to cover. Back row attack for Vogt. Smacks it down, and that's where Avery Vogt, getting her kills, drew the entire block over, and then she sets it to the back row. Northwest with a kill. They lead 12-9. We'll finish up game 4 when we get back after this on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom.
Freedom Tire is proud to be the title sponsor of supporting Jaguar student athletes through Centennial Digital. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping your family safely on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Come see us at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of Centennial Digital.
Back here in the gym on the north side of Ankeny, as it looked like the Jaguars were cruising. Got the first 2 games won tonight. Northwest won game 3 with a vengeance. And now they lead in game number 4, 12-9. These teams have gone to the maximum games all the times that they played last year, including in the state semifinals when they went to 5. Miller with a kill. There's an answer for you. As Jaden Pratt will go back to serve. Crowd has thinned out as it looks like the Jaguars were well on their way. We had a huge crowd in here earlier tonight. Northwest serve receive has been so much better as Vogt Out here to Miller, and Miller hits that one long. They get a touch. The ref back here has said there was a touch. And the Jags get the point.
And there was no consternation from the Wolves there. They're like, yep,
they knew it.
They knew it, yep.
I didn't see it, but everybody else seemed to have seen it.
Yeah.
Pratt to serve once again. Going to send Vogt to the back row, out to Januowicz. Lay Butters there. Cheeseman pushes it over, covered there. And in the middle they go, and that ball is hit long. Northwest wants a touch, they will not get it. Man, those hitters can elevate. Cordes there, 6-foot freshman.
So the Jags have made a slight adjustment. We were talking during the break here. They brought in Cheeseman a rotation or two early, and they're running her out of the front row, which isn't someplace they usually run her out of. And so it's just changing the dynamics of where these hitters are hitting at right now, and making a small adjustment. It looks like it's gotten them back into the game a little bit here.
And the Jags have not an answer for Logan Vogt out of the back row right now, as she has been able to throw that ball all over the place. 13-12. Northwest in the lead. Cordes to serve. And that ball is long.
That was close.
Very close.
Really close.
Close to hitting Tatum Schmidt as well, who was back there getting out of the way of it. Nora Bacchus in to serve for the Jaguars, and another Heart of Ankeny Animal Hospital substitution, tied at 13. Bacchus goes off of Peld's biceps. Roll shot coming through. Jags will be in rhythm now. Coming out here to Miller. Miller off the block. Danberg gets it. They're keyed in on the Jaguar hitters now. As that rotation to get the libero back in the game. It used to be they could just run in and out, but they have to get the server out, the middle in, and then get the libero back in. Good serve there by Vogt. Cheeseman tries to push it down, and that's going to be a free ball coming over for the Jaguars now. See if they can take advantage. Couldn't get it. Again, back row, Logan Vogt with a tip that time, and Cheeseman pushes it out. Miller, and Miller goes cross court to tie it up. That's been the opening. Cheeseman back to serve. Waukee Northwest has grown up a bunch throughout this match tonight. Cheeseman serve, going to send things back to the libero. Roll shot there, Ladwig puts it on the line.
Great shot. That was a tough set too. Just got that long arm out there, was able to snap right on top of it, put it right in that far corner.
Everything it doesn't look the same as a lot of hitters because everything is facing this side when she hits it, but she's so long she can get on top of it. Lay
Nice
Butters.
serve.
Jaguars just out of sorts right now. Out there, roll shot for Vogt, covered by Cheeseman. Now on the outside, Miller hits it long. Now Northwest back to a 2-point lead. Boy, this has got interesting. Januowicz at Miller. Cheeseman keeps it in. And the little miss hit there by Schmidt. At this point, you'll take whatever you can get.
Absolutely.
3 Jaguars in double digits in kills tonight. Delaney Miller back to serve, trailing 16-15. Vogt pushes it out to Vogt in the front row, tries to smoke it through the block. Does. Now Pratt tries to tip, but that's blocked. Very disruptive. Logan Vogt jumps up and she hammers it down the line. Able to get over top of the block. These hitters have grown up a ton for Northwest, and it starts with their passing. It's been so much better here in games 3 and 4.
Yeah, much more consistent.
Taylor now back to serve. Now we've got the trainer. Oh, they have some girls sitting too close out on the floor. They want to get them off the floor. All right. Telling them they have to get up in the bleachers. All right. So Taylor back to serve once again. Leading 17-15. Lay Butters. Schmidt. Miller. Little roll shot. Northwest so on the attack. The tip comes through. Cheeseman out to Pratt. Man, everything's being covered right now. Outside to Ladwig. And there's another kill.
Oh, really? Interesting time to bring out that call on a hard struck ball there. If anything, I might have called a lift rather than a double. I mean, that's...
Haven't seen any of those called tonight. Taylor on the serve once again. Lay Butters. Cheeseman in the middle. Right there. Northwest step ahead right now. Cheeseman on the outside. That's what they need. Pratt, and she's blocked by Ladwig. 19-15. Taylor again serving. This front row is an issue for the Jaguars right now. Miller on the right side. Schmidt, the roll shot, drops harmlessly to the ground.
Schmidt's got to be pushing, 20 kills?
Has to be,
yeah. He's got to be getting close, because I think she pretty much had 5 throughout the first 3 games. Would be sitting at 15. I bet you she's pushing 20 right now, just making some smart plays in some really tough situations.
Ladwig through the block. If we go to a game 5, it'll be a sprint to 15. Peld's back to serve for Northwest. The overpass results in a termination, and they're going to say that over the net was Vogt, and the Jaguars get the point.
I actually called net on
net,
number
okay.
9. I thought it was going to be an over the net situation, but I think he called net.
Both officials were all over it. Vogt set to the outside, and Jaguars on defense. Ott keeps it alive, and then Peltz keeps it alive through the block. Schmidt going to set up here to Pratt, who tries the deep tip. Can't get it there. Now to Vogt. Vogt goes cross court and out, and it's 20-18 Wolves. Timeout, Waukee Northwest. Back with a finish here after this on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
At US Cellular, you can pay just $29.99 per line.
So can I get just one line?
Yep, same price.
Can we each get a line for that price?
Sure can.
And I can get 6 lines.
Well, whether it is 1 line or 6 lines, it's still just $29.99 per line.
Target acquired.
Pay just $29.99 per line. US Cellular, built for us.
Northwest leads here in game number 4. The Jaguars won the first 2 games, 25-20, then 25-17. Waukee Northwest won game 3, 25-16, and have led a bunch of this game in game number 4. Back to the middle, Vogt from the back row. Jaguars, now Miller from the back row into the net.
If I remember correctly, I wouldn't have anything to do with the 5th game with these Wolves, because last year that was like their bread and butter, was 5-game matches all year long.
The Jags up until the Jags beat them in 5, all the way up until the semifinals. The Jags had got them, and the Jags were kind of in that habit of winning everything by 5 all season long, until that 5-setter against the Wolves in the semifinals, as Pratt hammers that one down. This game 4 is not over yet, as the Jaguars going to send Jaden Pratt back to serve, and she's had some nice rallies here tonight. Conditioning may come into play here soon. 21-19. Pratt with an ace.
Needed that one.
That's a big one from Doctors Millard and Linen at Summit Family Dental. 21-20. Pratt, serve once again, great. Return there, and Maya Butters digs it up, and the ball goes out of bounds. Ooh. Jags have not been able to get to a block at all here in game 4 either. As the freshman Cordes is back to serve. Goes at Pratt. Cheeseman tries to go to the dump, and Northwest is all over it. Jaguars take a timeout. We'll take a quick break as well. 23-20, Wolves in the lead here on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom.
Everything we do is here to benefit the client. Every decision that's needed to be made, the first question you should ask is, does this benefit the client, and is this the best thing for the client?
Our goal is to make a difference. We have the tools, resources, training, and leadership to make a difference in our agents' lives and their careers. And then they can then take that to make a difference in their clients' lives and ultimately make a difference in our communities.
We are available basically 24/7 to make sure that our agents are getting the support they need to look like $1 million in front of their clients.
Avery Cordes serving for Waukee Northwest, trying to push this to a game 5. She goes at Pratt. Cheeseman sets it out here. Miller pounds it down, and Vogt keeps it alive. Free ball coming over for the Jags. Lay Butters right to Cheeseman. Back outside of Miller once again, the roll shot.
Yeah, Miller just making a smart play. It just pounded one cross court. Had been dug up by Peltz with a nice dig on the backside there, but came back with that off speed and just laid it in there perfectly.
Nora Bacchus into serve. Vogt sends it in, and the big kill in the middle from another sophomore, Cassidy Danberg.
Tell you what, that was a gutsy call right there, because they had not been using that middle hardly at all, especially in a situation like that. And just tempo played that right perfectly. Now you got Ladwig just coming into the front row again. They got their power set almost here as Vogt's in the back row, just one rotation out.
Avery Vogt back to serve. Goes at Pratt. Out here Miller off the face back there of Taylor. And at the net, it is won by Danberg. Cassidy Danberg has showed up huge. And Waukee Northwest is sending this to game 5 after they trail 2-0. Sprint to 15 coming your way after this on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
Freedom Tire is proud to be the title sponsor of supporting Jaguar student athletes through Centennial Digital. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping your family safely on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Come see us at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of Centennial Digital. Fall sports coverage on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire, brought to you by these generous local businesses. Weichert Realtors, the 515 Agency. U.S. Cellular by Cellular Advantage. Game Day Men's Health. The District at Prairie Trail. Reed Plumbing. The Alter Metal Recycling. And Lamberti, Murphy, and Strong Law.
What if you could create memories that would last a lifetime? That would be pretty cool. Well, now you can.
West 40 Market in Uptown Ankeny is your place to shop for the best meats, steaks, brats, jerky, and everything in between. Let us be your one-stop shop for all your favorite cuts, all raised on local Iowa farms. Shopping local never tasted so good.
Game 5 here on the CIML opener between the Centennial Jaguars and the Waukee Northwest Wolves. Megan Cheeseman is serving this sprint to 15. Good early season test for both these teams of how they handle pressure. There's a tip. Jaguars going to send that over deep to Vogt. Avery Vogt sets it back to Ladwig, and that's passed over by Cheeseman. And another chance on the attack. Vogt, and smokes it down, Logan Vogt. Jaguars caught flat-footed, and Waukee Northwest gets the first point, 1-0.
As a coach, you're looking at first 1 to 5. You make this into 5-point games here. You want to be the first 1 to 5, first 1 to 10, and then obviously the first 1 to 15.
Little roll shot there, covered by Avery Vogt. And Logan Vogt on the down ball, covered by Cheeseman. Jags going to come to the outside. Miller tries to poke it through. Good cover back there by Taylor, and a free ball coming over for the Jags. Pratt, Cheeseman, right side. Schmidt kept alive by Taylor. Good hustle, but the Jaguars get the point and tie it up at 1. Had to go back to Schmidt on that right side. That's where the hot hand's been tonight. They are all over the outside hitters. Now Delaney Miller, one of those outside hitters, back to serve. Hard serve at Taylor. That sends Vogt all the way back. Logan Vogt, the down ball, dug up by Cheeseman. Jags back to the outside. Pratt tries to tip it and goes right into the bottom of the net. London Taylor back to serve once again. She went on a long rally in game number 4. Jags couldn't side her out. Goes at Pratt first. Cheeseman to Pratt, roll shot, and gets it to fall 2-2. The Waukee Northwest block has caused the Jags to get a little uncomfortable hitting the ball, and that normally powerful hitters, Pratt and Miller, have had to result to roll shots. Leigh Butters, Vogt, good push out to the outside. Leigh Butters with a dig, and it comes back over. Northwest on the attack, in the middle they go, and that's the freshman, Avery Cordes, in rhythm, and no block there for the Jaguars as she just smokes it down, and they have found gaps in that block by the Jaguars here as the game has gone on tonight. Peld's back to serve.
From those outsides for the Jags, I really like to see them utilize that block is there. You see that block and utilize the edges and the tops of that block, high hands off the edge of the block. We haven't seen a lot of that tonight because they've been hitting right into the block when they've been swinging. So let's utilize the tops and the edges of the block because it's definitely there.
Schmidt, and they're going to call a double hit.
Really? Wow.
It's such a long back set from over here, but just something we haven't seen called. 4-2 Northwest in the lead. Cheeseman goes to Miller in the middle. It's blocked, and the Jaguars going to send over the free ball, leaving it short. Northwest, though, has been terminal hitters, and Vogt does it right there. Again, the block just has not got over there. She is hitting it so quick. The tempo is different than what the Jaguars have seen. And it's 5-2 Northwest, the first to 5. And Northwest, after dropping the first 2 games, is really just dominated now the last 3.
Just played nice fundamental volleyball.
So many weapons to hit the ball. Pratt goes across the court. Kept back in.
Got to use this one to their advantage.
As Schmidt couldn't get it down. Northwest has dug up everything. Vote the roll. Out of bounds.
Cheeseman just stared that one down, wanted to get it, but just at the last second thought better of it, let that one knock out of bounds.
Good court awareness there by Megan, and Tatum Schmidt is back to serve. Good
nice
serve. Free ball coming over. Cheeseman pushes it out, and Pratt goes with the roll. Good cover in the back, though, by Taylor. Vote, and Vote. No, the Jaguars were in the net. (6-3) Northwest. And an ace serve. Look out. Northwest is cooking. 7-3 the score. Jaguars need a timeout. We'll be back right after this on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
Everything we do is here to benefit the client. Every decision that's needed to be made, the first question you should ask is, does this benefit the client, and is this the best thing for the client?
Our goal is to make a difference. We have the tools, resources, training, and leadership to make a difference in our agents' lives and their careers. And then they can then take that to make a difference in their clients' lives and ultimately make a difference in our communities.
We are available basically 24/7 to make sure that our agents are getting the support they need to look like $1 million in front of their clients.
7-3 here in Game 5. Waukee Northwest trying to complete the reverse sweep of the Jaguars after the Jags won the first two. Vote with a good serve. Cheeseman sends it up over here to Pratt. And Taylor all over it in the back row. Back row attack by Vote. Little ping ball match there, and it comes back over. Jags can't control it. Wow! Look at that elevation there in the middle. We are seeing a future star in freshman Avery Cordes. It has been all Northwest here since the Jag. It hasn't even been close since those first two games. Pratt into the block. Not the way you want to start your home set here for the Jags. Vote serve, floats over at Leigh Butters. Back row attack for Miller on the roll shot. And a little tip coming through, covered by Butters. Back row attack Miller. Taylor right there for it. And the little roll shot comes through, and again, more pinball back and forth out to Pratt into the net once again.
Everything going Wolves' way right now. Everything's going their way.
Jaguars take another timeout. It is all Northwest here for the last 45 minutes. All Northwest here on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
At US Cellular, you can pay just $29.99 per line.
So can I get just one line?
Yep, same price.
Can we each get a line for that price?
Sure can.
And I can get 6 lines.
Well, whether it is 1 line or 6 lines, it's still just $29.99 per line.
Target acquired.
Pay just $29.99 per line. US Cellular, built for us.
Some gaps in this Jaguar defense being exposed by all these hitters for Northwest as Leigh Butters on the overpass, and Northwest was in the net. Northwest fans thought Cheeseman might have been in the net. And now Finley Griner checks in to try to get some offense in the game for the Jags. Jaden Pratt back to serve, trailing 10-4 here in Game 5. Outside, I thought that was two hits on the serve. Jaguars go out to Griner, and Griner hits it down through the block.
Well, you lost the two mini games to 10, 5 to 10, but you just got to take this one step at a time and just whittle away at this at this lead, see if we can get it down to 3 or 4.
Pratt back to serve once again. This is the lineup to do it offensively for the Jags. Vote to Vote, and Vote hits it long. Northwest wanted a tip again. They did not get it. Pratt trying to scratch and claw these Jags back into this game 5, and a quick timeout from Coach Jody Vote. We'll keep it right here right now. Let's talk through this a little bit. So the Jaguars have brought in Greiner as their hitter on the right side right now to give some offensive options, but really the Northwest hitters have just been outstanding here over these last 3 games.
Yeah, I think it's just spreading it around. They had relied on Vote, who's a very strong hitter for those first 2 games, and then just realized that it just can't be one person out there, and just have spread it around. Has anybody been dominating? Absolutely not, probably. But they've just spread it around enough. It kept the ball in play, and just really grinding out those 3rd and 4th game wins, and right here as well. So I think it was a great, smart timeout by Coach Vogt here to just settle things down, still with a 4-point lead at 6-10. See if they can get the right play called to get out of this serve receive.
Really trying to take Pratt out of her rhythm right now, too, in serving. 10-6 as Jaden's going to try to get the Jags back in it. Vogt goes on the outside to Januowicz, who gets it over the net. And, wow, that was not
unfortunate.
Yes, that.
Because Pratt got it over, too, unbelievably. I don't know how she did it, but.
And the point goes to Northwest. Just crazy. They've got those rolls tonight. As Cordes back to serve. At Lay Butters. Cheeseman on the right side to Greiner. Greiner off the block once again. And couple quick kills for Finley as she checks in the game. And it's 11-7. Nora Bacchus going to go back to serve. Vogt going to go to Logan Vogt off the block again. Just weapon after weapon after weapon that Waukee Northwest keeps coming at you with. And that ball goes long. Take points any way we can get them right now. Northwest has had a few lucky rolls. See if the Jaguars can get a couple here as well. Even this thing out. 12-8.
This is their starting rotation, so it should be one of the ones that they feel most strongly about right where they're at right now. We'll see what they can do, and that's definitely not what they needed right there. (13-8). Northwest has flexed on the Jaguars here tonight over the last 45 minutes. They serve. These sophomores don't look like sophomores. And Waukee Northwest now with match point after the Jaguars won the first 2 games handily. Januowicz. Out to Miller. Miller. And it goes off the block and out of bounds. Jaguars will get that point. Miller matrixed her way out of that one. I don't know how she got out of the way because she was all in the way, and then all of a sudden the last second just limboed her way out of it.
Delaney Miller back to serve. Miller with an ace. That's going to send things all the way to the back. Little roll shot coming from Vogt. Lay Butters. Can he go in the middle? Miller with another kill. And another timeout for Northwest. 14-11. Back after this on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
What if you could create memories that would last a lifetime? That would be pretty cool. Well, now you can.
Delaney Miller trying to serve the Jaguars back into this one. Match point again. Third match point for Northwest. Miller, hard serve at Taylor. They go in the middle, and Ladwig hits it long. It's 14-12. Match point number 4. Vogt going to send it on the outside to Vogt. The tip over. Jags cover, though. Lay Butters going to go in the middle. And Miller covered by Taylor. I think the ball was going out of bounds. Now Vogt elevates through the block. Cheeseman right there for it. Now outside to Pratt. Pratt gets the kill!
And there's no more timeouts for either team right now. So this is, you're just going to have to play this one out. We do want a timeout about right now for the Wolves, but they've used both of their timeouts.
Match point number 5 for Waukee Northwest. Miller's serve, going to send things over. They try to keep it in, and free ball coming over for the Jags to try to use it. Lay Butters. In the middle they go. Healy with a kill! Has tied it up at 14! Waukee Northwest just had 5 game points and couldn't capitalize. They have no timeouts. Delaney Miller is told to take a deep breath by Coach Jess Reinhardt. Back to Deuce. Miller's serve.
They're going to sit at the outside.
Things push, and it's long. Out of bounds. 15-14. Jaguars now with their first match point of the night.
They're absolutely going to send this ball to the outside. There's no question in my mind. Yep.
They have to. See how Miller's serve goes. Miller's serve off the net.
Dump. It's going to be dump.
Covered there. Cheeseman going to come in the middle. Miller going to try to finish it. And she does off the block. The Jaguars have just completed an improbable comeback. 6 match points for Waukee Northwest. And the Jaguars come back and win 16-14. Are you kidding me?
Unbelievable.
These teams went 5 every time they played last year. Jaguars winning all the regular season. Waukee Northwest won at state. And tonight, in game number 5, trailing 14-9, Delaney Miller rises to the occasion, serves the last 7 points of the game.
Crazy.
Incredible win for the Centennial Jaguars over the defending state champs Waukee Northwest Wolves.
What a finish.
And the passing that was so good for Northwest disappeared over those last 6 points. A crazy win, and what a way to start the home season for the Jags. Austin Oliver, your closing thoughts.
Wolves are going to learn a lot. They're a young Wolves team.
Young team,
super young
sure.
team. A lot of talent out there. They're going to learn something from this this game tonight. I think the Jags are going to learn something from this too, to just not take anybody lightly. Everybody that's going to be coming up against them in CIML is going to be ready to go and going to be ready to take their best shot. So it's going to be a big game for them as well.
The Jags won the first 2 games. I can't even talk. I'm not in shape to do this right now. Jags won the first 2 games. Northwest came in and won games 3 and 4 and led 14-9 in game 5 before Delaney Miller absolutely took over that game.
And honestly, it looked like it was over. I mean, it really did look like 14-9. It looked like it was over.
I was turning off the equipment.
Yeah, all the momentum was definitely in the Wolves' favor, and some good leadership on the Jags side. We're able to pull them through on that one.
It's time to name our Lamberti, Murphy, and Strong Law player of the game, and I think you have to give it to the senior Delaney Miller, who had certainly some tough moments earlier in the night, but wow, in crunch time did she ever come through.
Yeah, and you can see that they were definitely counting on her to be able to take some of those big swings at the end there, too, as she got several of those sets at the end, as well as all those serves at the end as well. Great game.
Jaguars get the win here tonight in CIML action. They improved their record to 5-2 on this young season. Waukee Northwest falls to, I believe it was 2-3. Yes, 2-3, and Waukee Northwest, with all that youth and that young talent, will not be a team I will want to see down the road this year, because they have hitters, they have, that passing was what left a little bit of desire tonight, but wow, this team, Coach Vogt's a great coach. He's going to get that fixed up. And what a match here tonight on Centennial Digital. Thanks, everybody, for watching tonight. This is why we bring you the action. And thanks to all the great businesses who have put us on the air. This is why we do what we do. What an incredible night for the Jaguars. Huge comeback win over the defending state champs, Waukee Northwest Wolves. Thanks to Luke Silve for keeping us on the air tonight and running camera. Austin Oliver, as always, is Volleyball Insight. Second to no one. I'm Andy Pollack here on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire. It's time to go to the cabaret.